Hello everybody. Picture this. It's 3 to 3. I guess it wasn't actually 3 to 3, but Emmy would go on to play her set, which would make it 3 to 3. I am up against Nelson, who is a very respectable player. I would say around the same level as me, where it would be, you would expect it to be a close set. I didn't even realize that was off of fast speed. But it would end up the case that if I did not win this set, then we would lose the week, and if I did win the set, we would win the week. But I guess you could say that for any of the sets that happened that favored the winning team, but regardless, this was a very nerve-wracking set because I wasn't fully confident in... Not that I wasn't fully confident in Emmy's ability, but it was a set that could go either way. And so I wanted to ideally not take that chance. But this game will show you, in a sense, why you should never give up in a situation like this. I see so much of like, surprisingly top-level players just hitting the abandon button. Like, they'll be losing a game, and they'll just hit the abandon button because they think there is like, I'm not going to win this game, so I may as well save time. And it's kind of weird because in, like, chess, for example, you would typically, at a higher level, resign a game where you are strictly losing and you expect your opponent to know how to convert the end game. But in a situation like SAP, where there's a lot more dependent on kind of quote-unquote vibes-based positioning, so, like, you know, you sometimes position based off of assumptions about what your opponent is doing, you don't really... It's not really in your best interest to just abandon the game early. Like, you could save time, sure, but honestly, there are always chances. In this game, I have a much better start, and I have a level 2 pig that I can sell. I'm about to get Garlic onto this big camel, but as we go into turn 5, you will quickly see that Nelson has found a pretty good unit, some would say. This penguin here. Now, currently it's only buffing one thing, which I can handle. And Nelson goes down to 3 lives. You might be thinking, okay, well, how is this game, like, a game that's so hard for you to win? You will see. You will see what ends up happening. But for now, I play my turn somewhat normally. I kind of don't have board space here, and I would want to keep, my levels for next turn, so I take the Cupcake in hopes that it will hit a breakpoint against this Cricket. But there's a melon on the Cricket, actually. And I end up losing. I didn't really anticipate a turn 6 turtle pill. And I think I'm fine to assume that, but I suppose I could have also played, like, front pig, just to make sure I got the breakpoint anyway, and then it would work out with the melon. But regardless, here we are. On turn 7, I pick up a rhino, and I have this efficient cow cycle into getting a penguin of my own. It's buffing a snail, which is kind of awkward, but it's still a penguin. Penguin is still pretty solid, and I can easily maybe level something like the giraffe, or even the rhino some point down the line. And I have 5 lives, so this snail isn't the worst thing to keep on board. Nelson goes front penguin here, which means I'm able to farm with rhino. And Nelson's already at 2 lives, but be wary of this. This is level 2 giraffe. I am slowly getting outscaled here. So I choose to sell my giraffe, pick up a skunk, because for the most part Nelson has just had one big unit. I pair it because I'm kind of anticipating, like, front penguin might be a thing. I just want the camel to be able to trade with the Cricket. That's really my only goal here. But as you can see, this penguin's now level 2, and there's a monkey on turn 8, which is all of a sudden very scary. I don't quite get the breakpoint here, which is the problem. I'm 1 HP off, and then I can't break through the rest. Well, actually, I don't even know if I would have gotten there with the breakpoint. Maybe I would. But regardless, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I am getting massively outscaled by this board. Let me just pause here. This is level 2 penguin, this is a monkey, this thing is going to get giant. I need level 2 skunk to stay in this game. And I think I can fairly confidently say that I would lose this game if I didn't have that on my final board. But for the meantime, I take this turtle. Just roll down. Knock pill and lock scorpion, because I'm thinking Scorp Scam is also a fairly good way for me to try and scam lives. Here there's a front chili, which is very good against my board. Nelson bought his own skunk. I'm at 3 lives all of a sudden. How am I supposed to beat this? I start by pilling Melon onto Rhino. And obviously I basically have to take the Scorpion. And then I roll. And I do find the level 2 skunk. None of these tier 6s are good enough though. Which actually, this is relevant. I'll show you why in a bit later, but it means I keep the snail. It means I get health on this Scorpion. Again, that'll be important later. Level 2 monkey, and Nelson has a giant boar in front, which gets traded by Scorpion. This penguin hits chili into the camel, which means my rhino is just big enough to trade everything. Nelson's on 1 life. Now, Nelson is on 1 life, but look at the difference in boards. That's level 2 penguin, level 2 monkey, and some good buff targets, and Melon becomes available on this turn. And there's also level 2 giraffe. Like, this is just a massive amount of numbers. Like, this game looks very difficult to win from my perspective, but here's what happens. I take this mammoth pill. Now, I don't know how good this mammoth pill actually was. It's fairly efficient stats, but stats are not really what I need right now. But regardless, it gets this Scorpion to 6 HP. Again, remember that. I roll here. I do want the mushroom, but I just don't want to end on a 4 squad. So I buy this turtle. I order it like this, because I want the boar to attack my camel through Melon, and Melon to get full value. Which is what happens, to be fair, but unfortunately this unit is just too big to deal with. I lose by just a little bit. Now at this point, surely it's gotta be over. I mean, Nelson's had like an extra turn to scale and stabilize, he's gotten another Melon, he's gotten like a ton of stuff. He can sell this monkey for a scam unit potentially that would like ruin my board. But I've still got to try, right? I mean, there's a lot on the line here. I mushroom the Scorpion. I'm looking for pill for the turtle, and basically just another Scorpion is what I'm looking for. I think I need Scorpion to get out of this game, and ideally another mushroom if I can. Here, the Scorpion does trade into the boar, which is nice, but unfortunately this breakpoint is bad. And the Melon gets stripped away here. And again, we don't quite win. So now it's 1-1. This final turn. So, first of all, pill turtle onto camel. I have this other Scorpion and chop. We get it on board. This sushi isn't worth it because I need to roll for something better with my last 3 gold that I have, effectively. I don't think I should have frozen the pair for that reason, actually, but we get a Melon here, which I think is better on Skunk. With the current positioning, it doesn't actually do anything with like this steak giraffe in the back, but there are a lot of worlds where it can be relevant. So I take this Melon. And here's what I'm thinking. Let's pause. So at this point, Nelson knows I have Scorpion, and Nelson knows I have Mushroom Scorpion. I don't know why this is doing that, but Nelson knows I have Scorpion, with a Mushroom at least. He knows about this. I'm expecting the Penguin to go first. I'm expecting him to try and farm with Chili. I don't think... I kind of have to go under the assumption that he will not put a Melon unit first, because he wouldn't want it to get traded by Scorpion. So because this Scorpion has 6 health, it can actually dodge a Chili hit, and I put the other Scorpion in the first spot. And this just hinges on the fact that there is, like, Penguin first, big unit, one of these two second, and that this can trade with it, and then somehow this backline gets there. It's like an absolute pipe dream, and there's surely no way it works. I mean, there's plenty of other things Nelson can do. Nelson can bring in a snake. Nelson can position in so many other ways. I'm like hinging on a very low chance, I think. I'm just hoping that I can like turn a 0% chance of winning into a 1% chance of winning. So imagine my surprise when I see this. Front Penguin, second ball with the Tiger still behind. Skunk reduces the HP of this, which isn't the thing getting hit by Scorp. Let me slow this down. Skunk reduces the health. This survives the Chili because of the Snail buff and the Mammoth buffs from earlier in the game. Strips away the Melon. Trades with this Scorpion, or trades with this Boar rather. This Stake hits my Camel through Melon to give it a trigger. And then when it dies, it gets another trigger. I think only one of these was relevant. Because of the Melon, I would still win if this only got one trigger, but it's still interesting. The Rhino trades. And the Rhino trades. And the Rhino kills the Giraffe at the end. Actually, an unbelievable game that happened, and I went on to win this set 4-1. Nelson played it great, to be perfectly clear. I think that was the most like obvious positioning for Nelson. It wasn't bad. It was a very reasonable positioning, but that's kind of why my line ended up working. But with that, we win this week 4-3 again. This is like the 4th time we've done it. I'm pretty sure every single one of our week wins has been 4-3 so far. We have one more week to go. If we win it, we're almost certainly in playoffs. If we lose it, it gets a bit more complicated. We have to start relying on how other teams are doing. But I just wanted to give an update on how the season's going, because this game was absurd, frankly. And I couldn't not put this on YouTube. Alright, that's about it. Have a wonderful day.